Do you feel like worry is stealing your peace? Are you constantly haunted by yesterday's regrets or paralyzed by tomorrow's fears? What if I told you that the secret to crushing anxiety has already been discovered? Not by psychologists in modern labs, but by ordinary people who learned how to live one day at a time. In this video, I'll share real stories of people who overcame crippling fear and anxiety, stories that might just change the way you live your life forever. In the spring of 1871, a young medical student in Montreal was drowning in anxiety. His name? William Osler. He worried about exams, about money, about whether he would ever build a future. But one day, he stumbled upon 21 simple words from Thomas Carlyle that rewired his entire outlook. Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. Osler lived by those words. He stopped worrying about the distant future and instead focused on the one task right in front of him. That mindset transformed him from a worried student into one of the greatest physicians of his generation. He founded Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, became a professor at Oxford, was knighted by the King of England, and left behind a legacy so vast that 1,466 pages were needed to capture his life story. But what was his secret? He called it living in day-tight compartments. Like a great ship closing its watertight doors, Osler taught us to shut out the past and seal off the future. Focus only on today. That was his cure for worry. During World War II, Arthur Hayes Sulzberger, the publisher of the New York Times, couldn't sleep. The news of bombings, invasions, and uncertainty consumed him. He would wake up in the middle of the night, pick up a paintbrush, and try to distract himself by painting self-portraits. But nothing worked. The anxiety never left. Until one day, he adopted a simple motto from an old hymn. Lead, kindly light. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene. One step, enough for me. Those 5 words, one step, enough for me, gave Sulzberger the strength to face the unknown. He realized he didn't have to carry tomorrow's burdens today. He only had to take the next step. Now let's go back to April 1945, near the end of the war in Europe. A young American soldier named Ted Benjamino was collapsing under the weight of his duties. Ted worked in the Graves Registration Service. His job was to disinter bodies from shallow graves, record their identities, and send their belongings home to grieving families. Imagine that, day after day, handling the effects of fallen soldiers, never knowing if you yourself would survive. The stress broke his body. He developed a painful condition in his colon, lost 34 pounds, and spent nights sobbing uncontrollably. He feared he'd never see his son, who had been born while he was overseas. One army doctor gave Ted the advice that saved his life. Think of life as an hourglass. Thousands of grains of sand in the top, but only one can pass through the narrow neck at a time. If you try to force them all, the hourglass will shatter. You must let life's tasks pass one at a time. Ted embraced this wisdom. One grain of sand at a time. One task at a time. That mindset not only saved him during the war, but also helped him thrive after returning home, even in business. He realized the cure to anxiety wasn't fighting everything at once, but focusing only on the present task. In 1937, Mrs. E.K. Shields lost her husband. Alone, nearly penniless and broken, she returned to her old job selling books to rural schools. But life on the road was crushing. She drove alone, ate alone. She feared missing her car payments, losing her room, going hungry, or falling ill with no money for a doctor. The despair grew so deep, she contemplated suicide. But one day, she came across a line in an article that changed everything. Every day is a new life to a wise man. She typed it out, pasted it on her car windshield, and began every morning with those words, "Today is a new life." By living only one day at a time, she beat back the darkness of loneliness and fear. She rebuilt her life, her joy, and her confidence. Her secret? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, just today. Edward S. Evans, a businessman from Detroit, had built a thriving company from scratch. But disaster struck. His friend went bankrupt, dragging him into debt, and the bank holding his money collapsed. The stress overwhelmed him. He collapsed on the street, covered in boils, told by doctors he has just 2 weeks to live. At that moment, Evans let go. He stopped worrying about the past or fearing the future. He simply rested, slept, ate, and slowly his strength returned. That shift in mindset gave him the resilience to rebuild, eventually creating the Evans Products Company, a business so successful that an airfield in Greenland was named after him. His lesson? He survived and thrived the moment he gave up worry and focused only on living today. So what do these stories teach us? That crushing anxiety doesn't come from controlling the past or predicting the future, because neither is possible. It comes from choosing to live in what Sir William Osler called day-tight compartments. Shut the iron door on yesterday. Seal off the door to tomorrow. Focus on today. This one day. This one step. This one grain of sand. Remember the words from the Bible. Have no anxiety for the morrow. Remember Sulzberger's hymn, "One step, enough for me." Remember the doctor's advice to Ted, one grain of sand at a time. And remember this truth. Every day is a new life to a wise man. If you can live one day at a time, you can live free from worry. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Live today. Live free.